Senator Ernst.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I also appreciate very much the testimony from all of our witnesses here today. And it is a difficult topic because it is so contentious around the abortion issue. And Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank you again for reiterating that the bill is not about abortion. It is about babies. Okay, abortion is something that, in the case of those that are surviving an abortion, that abortion is something in the past. Okay, now we are focused on a living, hopefully breathing human being. And I hear all kinds of arguments about equality and where are we drawing the line at equality? Does that living baby not have the same rights as any other living baby, regardless of the circumstance of whether they were wanted or not? And I understand, Ms. Christensen, thank you for your testimony today. And I think that's important that we talk about that issue. But the fact of the matter is, it is neither here nor there on this bill. I think if we need to go back and have those discussions about a child that maybe God is calling home early, maybe we need to have those discussions. So thank you for sharing that with us. But fact of the matter is, we are focused on babies. I hear arguments from the left all the time that it's a woman's body and that fetus within that woman's body it's up to that woman to decide what is right or wrong. Now we're arguing from the left that a child that has exited a woman's body is still her right to decide whether that child lives or dies. And I think we need to get beyond that and recognize the fact that this is a baby. This is a baby that has been delivered. Again, wanted or not, there are a lot of children that are not wanted in this world. But does that mean it's okay for a mom or dad to decide that that child shouldn't exist? This is a baby, folks. So much so that a young man that has come into my life has made very clear. This is a diaper, folks, from the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. And they use these diapers on babies that are born very early and probably about the gestational age of 20 weeks or so. And this young man that came into my life is a little boy named Micah Pickering, who was delivered at 22 weeks gestational age. And he was visiting. He was about 3 or 4 years old when he came into my office, and I had a picture of him in my office after he was born, and he was about the size of a bag of M&Ms. And it was a picture of him hooked up with all the tubes, all the monitors. And he ran over, and he didn't know that that was him. He ran over and he pointed at that picture and he said, "A baby." You know, Micah, he made me cry. That is a baby. Now, we as a society will be judged on how we handle the most vulnerable in our society, whether they're wanted or not. Those are still babies. So I appreciate it. All of my questions have been asked this morning, but I've formulated maybe a little different angle. And Dr. Perucci, could you describe the circumstance of what would happen if a doctor, without this law in place, you know, as we see, just allows a baby to simply die? No penalty there, correct?
Like I say, I can't speak for what happens when I'm not present. I know, what I do know is when those of us who take care of babies for a living come and assess, and like I say, there are babies that are beyond my medical ability to heal. The kiddos who are born at 22 weeks, and their legs are the size of your pinky. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the width of what we're trying to get IV access in if we can't use the umbilical cord. Mm-hmm. But they're perfect. They reach out with you with these little hands, and the thought of one of them being left in a cold isolate or just on a table or wherever. I don't know where they go.
Right.
It's
And
our privilege to care for them.
yes, so virtually no penalty if they're an unwanted baby. What would happen if a doctor refused to give life-saving measures to a child that was wanted?
We would be found negligent.
So why the discrimination?
I showed up here today to stand up for a consistent standard of care for all of us.
And thank you. And I think a consistent standard of care is what we are asking for today. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Ernst.